Hey everybody, Dan here, gonna bring you another episode of Adventure Capitalist Gameplay. So I'm gonna cover a few little tips for you today. We're gonna use Mars as our example here because it goes so quickly, it's a little bit easier to illustrate some of these things with. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is investors. It's a good idea to make sure you've at least doubled your investors, and that just means that your amount that you will claim with restart is at least equal to your current total. Now in my case right now, I'm actually well above that. I actually have more than double my total, so it's definitely an okay time to go ahead and restart. So I'll do that now. Let's give me all the benefit of all of them, and now you'll notice that right away you've got access. This is any individuals, you've got access to Sir Lancelot Barsdale, who unlocks the Mars Easy Upgrader for 1 angel. Now, honestly, at the early parts of the game, you don't really need it because you're not gonna get the upgrades so quickly that you can't just get them manually anyway. So I'm gonna skip that for right now. What I am gonna do is go ahead and get that one up there a little bit, and let's go ahead and get a couple of these going. Up really quick. Now we're just kind of rebuilding things back up there. On Mars, you definitely want to focus a lot on getting the upgrades whenever you can, because they're all just so huge, you know, times 33. Whereas the things you get for getting something to a level, it's mostly, you know, times 3, times 5, not near as much, so you definitely want to take advantage of those upgrades whenever you have access to them. Granted, you get a lot more of the unlocks, so times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3, yeah, you know, I mean, times 3, 4 times 0, that's times 81, that's more than times 33, but don't neglect those upgrades either. So the next thing is, let's go get that one too, the tech portal over here. Now, as I get it up a little bit, you'll notice that it is way slower than everything else is going on. It's 50 seconds right now, so it's about a minute, whereas this is like 15 seconds. So that's something to keep in mind. Is even though its payout amount might be very large, 287 trillion versus 47 trillion, the fact is that I get that 47 trillion a dozen times or something. At least, alright, well, at least 4 times in that time period, and about to be even more because that up there. So this one right here, it's kind of a trap for a lot of the time. You don't want to just sink all your money into it because it's really not going to do you a whole lot of good. Now there will be a point where I'll put some money in it, but I didn't mean to activate that. Now I'm going to ignore it because I really don't need it. Alright, what I'm going to do is go ahead and activate this guy. But here we go. Get this up to 200. Gets another raise. See, now it's actually ahead of those for the time being, even their straight payout. And there's another. Now this upgrade here, that's gonna take it so that now you see it's quadrillion. It's really tempting now. In fact, I am going to go ahead and take it up just for the time being, because at this very brief stage it actually does become a bit of a leader in the profit area. So I'll take advantage of that for the short while that's relevant until my other ones get ahead of it, which they will do very quickly. For example, my men here are going to be a ×5 improvement. Right there. And you want to pay attention to your unlock screen too, because, you know, really you want to try to get things to those levels so you can get those other multipliers too. So I can see that I'm really getting close to getting my red dirt ×3 at 3,400, and oh, something just got me there. Alright, let me actually do these really quick. There we go. Alright. So I did go ahead and get that one up to 100. It's going to give me a really big payout, 132 quadrillion, although it's still really slow, so it's, you have to wait a while to get it. But, and then it's going to carry me to get my Buggles ×2 unlock at 250, which that'll be a really good one. And also go ahead and activate that there. Already on my way to get that, so I'm prepared for that. I notice, for example, that right now you can see I've got enough money to buy 60, 70 of those, but until it gets to the point where I can get another unlock, it's not really worth putting that full investment into. Now it is. And then I can also get this one. This one there. But get. The braincation doesn't really give very much at all, so I'm not gonna bother buying more until I really have enough cash to just get it all the way to 25, because until then that money would be better spent somewhere else. But I will go ahead and activate the manager for it so that it's running out to mess with that. Alright, it looks like I'm coming very quickly up to get 75 of the chocolate bars here. Oh, well, more than that actually. Oh, but also I got 100 of this, so let me go ahead and do that one because it's going to be even more helpful. So, that's coming along nicely. And then, I'm not going to bother with the 5, so there we go. Those are actually pretty close. This one going off so many times, and that one going once. They're pretty close to each other in terms of actual earning rates. The next one for us will be at 1200, which I'm actually going to be able to get to that one pretty quickly too, I think. So now I'm just going to wait a little bit because I've got things are just kind of going. Try to see where we're going to focus now. There we go. See, I saved my money by not building something up before, so that when I got that big payout in this one, I could then have enough to get whichever thing to wherever it needed to go. Now I do have enough to get this, so let's go ahead and get that to 1200. And that gave us a speed increase so that it now goes at unseeably fast, which is always a good thing. My next one's probably going to be the Buggles to 300, I think, which gives me a ×2 on them. Men is next one is now at 700 for a ×9. That's a really good improvement, especially since they're already pretty good earner for me anyway. One thing I'm going to do as I'm getting to this point here is I'm going to go ahead and take this up to 5, because I know that my unlock is at 25 for it. So that way I can just hit 10 really quickly twice as soon as it gets there. Actually, just to be 10 right now is not that much, so we'll go with that. And then we'll just leave it alone for that. It goes over times 3, it's actually not even that much. So I probably should actually avoid that one for right now. It's not to where it needs to be helpful for me. I need to focus on this side still. So, yeah, it's not going to be long before I can get this to 300. I know that it's going to be the next thing based on these numbers. So let's go ahead and get it ready, situated. It's waiting for that. I just need to hit that last button for 10 in just a moment. And there we go. Let's double the speed of it. And so now it is making 1 quadrillion every 8 seconds. That's pretty good. See, I'm now earning my angels pretty quickly here. I may actually get... I've got to get something to go up even more before this will start climbing at a noticeable rate. What's it going to be? Find out as soon as this one clicks over. There we go. And the only thing that I've got to unlock is this one, so I'll go ahead and do it. There. I think we're just kind of riding the wave here now. Not much else to really get advantage from. So, with that, let's stop back over at Earth really quickly and check on things there. So, what do we see here? I can get a couple of things up to the next unlock levels. Do I take donuts times 3, or do I get both of those things up? And actually, I think with where I'm at here, I'm actually thinking that these are going to be the better choice. So I got those. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some into the banks here. They actually do pretty well for me as well. Yeah. Got these things that I could get, but they're actually not really worth, because those angels, they increase your profits directly. This only reduces the cost of buying the purchases on them, and it's only a 10% cost reduction. Showing the cash per second, that's just information. You don't need it. You can do the math if you want to, but just know that for the most part, at this stage of the game, the bottom right makes money the fastest, and so on. So oil's your biggest profit earner, banks are next, movies next, and so on. with the exception that the lemonade actually probably out-earns the newspapers. You can't really tell here from the dollar amount shown, but it's actually going quite a bit faster than these next ones. So the 480,000 here is honestly probably earning more per second than the newspapers, which say 7.2 million. So, though, if you really want to figure it out, it can be done. But if you go at the start of the game and you look how long it takes for the lemonades to go when you've got just one, how long it takes for the newspapers to go when you've got just one, and then you pay attention as you get your unlocks for where it takes the speed times 2, you can actually math it out and see how many times per second this is going, how many times per second that one's going, and so on. I just don't have that information handy, and I don't really care. They all make money, that's the point. Oil makes the most at this part of the game. Banks make the second most. And the rest all add up to about 2 or 3%. So now, there will be a point at which it is worth spending those angels on those managers, and that is when the number that you have is much more. If you have 100,000 angels, go ahead and spend these 10. You won't notice. But at this point, with only having 1,000, it's not worth it for the hit that it takes to your actual profit amounts. Alright, so I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put 10 there. And my next 10 will actually, I don't know. I'm just going to let it run for a little bit. So back over to Mars. It's probably gotten very much while I was gone in those 5 minutes. Almost 1 quintillion. Yep. So, here we are. Where am I going to put this money now? I could activate that, but it's not worth it. I know what the payout is on it. It's too low to do that. What I am going to do is, let's see. I'm going to take that up there. And, oh, here's another little trick. You can find out how much something helped you by, if you go into shop here and then you hit time warp, you can see here's the amount of money that you will earn in 24 hours based on the rates everything's at right now. So 315 quintillion per day. So I'm not going to try to calculate that to how much it is per second. That doesn't matter. The point is, there's my number 315. So what I can then do is I can say, alright, if I, let's see, do I have anything? I don't even have anything right now, but it looks like I'm going to get this to 75 very soon. And as soon as I do, I'll get to 75, and then I'll go back and I'll see what this number is again. I'm not actually making the purchase. Don't have to actually spend any money on getting those gold bars. You're just looking at what the amount that you would get if you did it is. So, as soon as I get this to 75, the 75 of those, I'll put that in there, and then I'll go back in here, and I'll see what that number changes to. And so I can see how big of an effect that had. So, there we go. and I can just see just buying them did almost nothing. It's still 315. The number after the decimal point's a little higher, but 315.602. We'll do this, and now it's 334. So that increased by about 20 quintillion, which is not 10%, but it's more than 5%. I'll say it's about 7% increase. So that was, you know, definitely worth doing. Now, having done that, I'll just show if I were to get and put a little bit in here. Let's do 10 in there. And I forgot what the number was, so I can't even tell. 352. Oh yeah, it was 315 and I gained about 20. Which means that's definitely worthwhile at this point to go ahead and do that one more time. Yeah, that did pretty well. But I know from experience playing this game a lot on PC and on Android that the benefits of this drop off very, very quickly. So probably not even going to do another 10 in there because it just so quickly becomes obsolete. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to do 10 more. But then, as the cost goes up there, I mean, it's got to pay out 4 times now for me to afford that one. And so it's, you know, starting to not become worth it. It's so far to get it up to 200. And the amount of cash it's going to take to get that to 200, even though the times 7 increase, by then I'll probably have men to 700, which will be a times 9 improvement, and I might have the ambassadors to 200 for the times 6 improvement. Both of those are going to be really effective as well, and it just drops off so fast that, you know, it's easy to think, well, look, the number of the payout is the largest number of any, but it's just a trap. Alright. What I'm going to do is nothing. Honestly, no. I'm just going to let this run for a little bit because my angel count is increasing pretty quickly, and it won't be very long. Here, let's see what this goes. I got about 400 from that going off. So at that rate, it'll have to go off maybe 1, 2, 3, about 3 more times. About 3 minutes, and then I'll get a little orange light here. And I could reset right away, but what I'll actually probably do is just let it run, because I don't want to spend another 10-15 minutes rebuilding it again. So I'm just going to let it run from here and just keep going, and then I'll come back tomorrow or the next day and I'll have earned some ridiculous amount of money, and this will be like 100,000 or something, and then I'll reset and have just a massive increase. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop in one last set of 10 because I've decided to do it that way. Get that there, and then done with Mars for today. Go back to Earth. And got a little bit of cash here. Let's see. I can almost get that up to 300 or to 200, but not quite. What I will do is actually let's get this. I like to keep things at round numbers, just because there's points where, say if, you know, I had this at 191 and then I bought 10 of it, the amount that I spent for that, because each one cost more than the one before it did, So if I had this at 191 and I bought 10, putting it at 201, then I might be mad at myself for spending the extra amount on that last one that could have been put towards something else. So that's why I just try to keep them at round numbers or at the number that based on what they're going to go up to. Like here, this one, they're all, you know, tens and hundreds, but back on Mars, the braincation was 25, so I took it to 5, and then I spent 10 to get it to 15, and then another 10 later we'll put it at 25. So we're going to put 10 in here, and I'm going to put 10 here as well. Donuts do pretty nice for me, so especially once I get the 1 quadrillion, it'll be good to boost that up. When I do, I believe it will actually technically out-earn the shrimp at that point, or be really, really close. Because as you can see, it goes 3 or 4 times per second, whereas the shrimp is about 1 3/4 second, I believe. So I think we're good there as well. Let both of those run, and that'll be it. So I hope you enjoyed this brief video with some nice fun tips for venture capitalists. Be sure to check out my channel for more videos. Got this game and others. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to be able to know every time I'm online and uploading another video. Check that out, and thanks for watching.